We're back? Please? Please come back. And we're back, said someone. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how this stuff works. I'm new at this. It says we're live, but I don't know who to believe now. Everyone in the chat was freaking out, but the live stream didn't say it stopped. So I don't know. Oh, dang it. They discontinued Puffin. Now it's going to say live broad. Yeah, here we go. It's a little spotty, but we're learning. We're going to smoothen out these problems. Like the big time Apple Sheep logo. Thank you. I appreciate that. People are saying it's back. Good. Are we flickering? Or was that fixed? That'd be nice if it was fixed. Okay, you're asking what I think about jailbreaking on Oh, stream starting, no data. We're back? No, there's a little alert on my phone that said new notification. Okay, I hope we're back. Sorry about that. I don't stream status, no data. What does that mean? I don't understand. Flickering? Dang it. It's flipping out, guys. I'm sorry. It looked fine for a second, but now my phone's freaking out. We tried. It says no data. What's your favorite phone ever? The iPhone 7 Plus. Because it gets Verizon unlimited data. And even if this doesn't work. No, I hit the data cap a long time ago. We're just getting lag here. I don't know how to control that. Talk about jailbreak. Well, I don't like that flickering, you guys. You only get 22 gigs of high-speed internet before being up on... I know. I hit 22 gigs last night at around 8. I uploaded a video. We live streamed for 30 minutes. We had 36 gigs this morning. But now that maybe they're just mega down throttling me now. If you did it with the iPad, would it work better? I tried to. The app's not available on there. Even if you look for the iPad apps only on that app store, I won't find it. Anyway. Seems to be working. I don't know. You know, I'm going to make a video that just says, I don't like jailbreak because you keep asking about it and I don't like it. It's a complicated system to keep not updating to the newest update and then keep switching back. Anyway. No, I mean, I still had like fairly high-speed internet even when I was unprioritized. Don't worry. 36 gigs in the morning? No, it was like over a day. Don't worry about the flickering. What kind of USB-C adapter do you use? Yeah, I showed you. Oh yeah, no, we didn't because it dropped out. This thing. I don't use it a lot. I don't use it very much. And when I do use it, it's not for very long, so that's why I don't really mind that it's like huge. So I get 4 old USB ports, an HDMI 2.0 port, so this can do 4K to USB-C. That works for like 90% of what I need. I did another speed test. It was at full capacity. No problems. So they do mean unlimited. But yeah, let's hope the flickering is awful. I hate this. How can you guys watch that? I don't like this. You know. What if the iPhone 8 isn't going to happen this year and we'll only see the 7S and 7S Plus? That would suck. But at least all of the hype that everyone keeps having would just like keep continuing and we could grow from that. Anyway. Are you sure you aren't flickering and tricking us all? Oh yeah, I'm just doing that on purpose. No, I promise. I don't want it to look like that. I don't know, guys. Oh, people are having problems uploading all day? Maybe that's something. But, yeah, the stream status keeps flickering no data. I feel like that may be part of it. Yeah. You know, guys, I do think I want to smoothen out this live streaming thing rather than just do a crappy stream. I don't like that. I know a lot of you guys are okay with it, but obviously, you know, we have lower stats now, but I don't think it's the front camera. You know, I could do that right now. I could try that right now. I don't think that's the problem, but, you know, for the sake of trying things, we'll do it. Flip the camera around. Whoop. Don't really know how that looks. Can't really tell if I'm cut off or not, or if it's too high or too low. We'll find out in a second. Did anyone's mobile YouTube crash on Sunday? What if you streamed at a slightly lower resolution? I could try Facebook, but I don't like... Yeah, I know you come for me, not the quality. I appreciate that. Let's see if this fixes anything. We're gonna try it. Oh, you may be right. Philip, you may be right. Dang it. That looks way better. Oh, I'm sorry. I should listen to you guys more often. That looks so much better. It's like no flickering. It's like perfect. The camera worked. No choppy. I'm sorry. I need to listen to you guys more often. Maybe I should try a jailbreak. Thoughts on the Galaxy S8? Why did they put the fingerprint reader on the back? I'm taking this off. It's too hot in here. Gosh. I'm sorry. I didn't know how to fix it. I'm sorry. Alright. Let's talk tech now that this is working. I was ready to stop the stream, you guys. Anyway. This is why this was a test. You're right, Hannah. Exactly. We want to hear you. You want a room tour? Now we gotta take the phone off. It's not. Oh yeah, I got myself some water. What else do you want me to do? Wow, should never say that on a live stream. I know exactly how you guys are going to abuse that power. Anyway. Okay, moving on. What's your opinion on how the AirPods cost and do so little? Oh, talk about that little, or are they cheap? I would pay more for them, but not much more for them. Given the competition between other wireless headphones, it definitely could be more expensive. Like, I get people like to compare them to EarPods, which are only $30, but if you compare them to the Beats lineup, they're far cheaper. But yeah, I would pay $200 to $250 for them. Well, honestly, I've wanted them for a long time, so I'd probably pay more for that. But like, I would be okay with them being $220 to $250. Like, I could pay for that. I'd still be like, yep, buying it. But I'm very grateful that it is cheaper. That is nice. Anyway, what community college do you go to? None. Dropped out, John. John, pretty man. He's a pretty man. I'm one of those people that didn't like college. Didn't enjoy that atmosphere or that education process. I wanted to do things on my own, like work and do YouTube videos, which is obviously proving profitable now. So anyway, I got the Apple Cup from a friend of mine who was at Apple headquarters in Cupertino. He saw it and knew I wanted one, so he bought one for me. Very nice guy. Same guy who let me unbox the iPhone 7 Plus early. I did an early iPhone 7 Plus unboxing, and then at the end Best Buy comes in and takes it from me. That wasn't actually my phone. That was a prank, but he let me unbox it early so I could get the views, which, you know, the sooner you can do it, the better, so I very much appreciate him for that. Anyway, do you like the newest iOS update? I don't really know what happened much. The TV app is interesting, but the problem is no one major supports it. But I read somewhere Netflix is supporting it now, but I haven't seen that in the TV app. I don't know. It was a cool idea. I think what they were doing was they were trying to make Apple Movies their own TV movie subscription service, and they were gonna design it a lot like that TV app, but they couldn't get people to sign up for it. As it not customers, I mean like studios like Disney, you know, Fox. They wanted them to sign up with their streaming deal. They couldn't get anyone to do that, so they figured, we came up with a cool TV design layout. Let's just partner with the people who were okay with it, which was a very small few, but it looks nice. I don't follow any of the services they support. Anyway, Will you buy the new Beats X? Nah, AirPods are great. I don't need Beats X. I don't need the cable to connect on the back. When I had wireless headphones, they all broke by the way. Wireless headphones with a wire always seem to fail after a certain amount of time, which I think there's something about that. I think it's the fact that when you have a cable, that's in headphones at least, that's usually what goes wrong. That's usually why headphones die, is because of a wiring malfunction. There's of course other ways too, but like I think that's the main one. And the other thing is when you have that cable, usually you tuck it behind your shirt or over your shirt, and either way when you do that, that cable tugs and it makes the headphones fall out. That's the great thing about AirPods, is they never fall out because, well, first of all, it's the way your ear's shaped. I understand if you don't fall in that category, it sucks for you. But if you do, they're great headphones. So anyway, I built your own Hackintosh. I'm glad you got the Hackintosh to work for you, because when I had my gaming PC for a year, I tried to put OS 10 on it. I got it on there, but a ton of things didn't work, and I spent a week trying to get those extra drivers to work, trying to find the right drivers, even though people said, here's the ones you use. I use those ones. They don't work. It defeats the whole point of having an Apple product, which is to have something that's hardware and software built to work together, and it's a seamless experience, where Hackintosh kind of pulls away all that. It's kind of like a zombie form of OS 10 or Mac OS now, because you're not getting it from Apple. You're putting it on there yourself, and you have to tinker with it a lot to get it to work, especially when software updates come around. Then you got to get all new drivers. I just thought I didn't want to tinker with my computer. That's why I got a Mac. I just want it to work. Ever heard that excuse before? Anyway, moving on. How hard was it to find that Macintosh on the left? Oh, what do you mean? Left. My left? Or your left? First of all, we didn't find any of these. In my family, we owned all of these at one point or another. This would plug into an old Mac Pro. This was Apple's old external monitor. This my dad actually used. This was... he's been in education for a long time, and in education they always use different kinds of computers. Apple from the start. He was the first Apple sheep that I look up to. And this was the first computer I ever had. It was a hand-me-down from my sister. Made all my early videos. Earlier I was talking about like animations I would do. That was all on there. This was actually my sister's iMac, but this one's actually broken. The display went out on it. The internals of that iMac work perfectly fine, but the display doesn't turn on. Never had that happen before, but you know, all computers will be computers. They don't all work perfectly. But yeah, that was the main issue with that iMac. So shelf is a good place for it. It's an old iMac anyway, so it's not like we could do anything with the specs on the inside. But yeah, I like keeping these boxes around. There's obviously more computers on the floor that you can't see. They're way over there. But yeah, we've got like 3 of these. We also got the bubble iMacs at my dad's school, but those still work, which is why they're not here, is because he turns them on and uses them. And he even has one of these that still works at school. And they use it to program like Lego Mindstorms, robotics kind of stuff. Still works, still turns on from the 80s. I don't see a lot of PCs doing that. Just saying. Anyway. When it comes to gaming, are you PC Master Race? Absolutely, because I've done everything. I've had an Xbox, I've had a PlayStation, I haven't had a Wii U, but that speaks for itself. I've had the gaming PC though, and I just know you get the best specs, and they're not that expensive, especially coming from an Apple sheep. You can get a pretty good gaming PC for a good price. I get consoles are cheaper, but I hate consoles. They are bad at what they do. They only do a couple of things. And if you don't have the money for a gaming PC, I don't think that means you should have the money for a gaming console. That means you need to save more. It's just, I don't believe that you should spend that kind of money on something that's only good at a few things. And they're very outdated. They're still using discs. When you want to play a game on a console, you're storing part of the game on the disc itself, part of the game on the console, and part of the game is downloaded online off the internet. So you're getting 3 sources to play one file. I just think it's an outdated system. The reason it's so outdated is because there's no innovator in that field. Everyone who's making consoles is too afraid, except Nintendo. Shut up. I know what you're thinking. The Switch. He doesn't like the Switch. So no. Microsoft and Sony are too afraid to remove something or change the way the console acts for the greater good of, you know, long-term use of the product, that's why, you know, it's been 10 years and the console sizes haven't changed that much. You know, technology has drastically changed since the first Xbox to now, and yet size-wise, they've only gotten like that much smaller. In fact, the Xbox One kind of looks like bigger than the first Xbox. And that's kind of what happens when you have this industry that's afraid to change anything or remove anything because they just know that the consumers are going to flip out about it. Anyway, is Apple's cables better than any other MFI certified cable, or are they the same? I know for sure that Apple's are really good. So when you pay that extra price for adapters, you're actually getting something, because I bought a Lightning to USB-C cable that was third party, and it's awful. It's not, it works, but you have to plug in Lightning a certain way and you have to plug in USB-C a certain way. If any one of those are switched, it doesn't work, which defeats the point of having a reversible port. So I got bit in the butt for trying to save a buck, and I just know that when I buy Apple certified cables, they're always going to work. So they put in the extra money to make sure they're certified, and I know people think it's a ripoff, but when you try the alternatives, you find out that it's not really. It's like, no, you kind of want to pay for that. Anyway, yeah, don't buy fake cables. You're right. iPad sales have fallen for a while. What can Apple do to fix with the next iPad release? Samuel, I'll tell you why I do think that Apple sales of the iPad are declining, and why tablet sales in general are declining. If you go to tablet sales, what do you call it, overview, like over the year, how many tablets each company is selling, Apple's still at the top, Samsung's behind them. They don't list Microsoft, so they don't really count the Surface as a tablet, when obviously lots of people are using the Surface, and the Surface is selling really well and competing with the iPad incredibly well. Even the MacBooks, the Surface falls into that category too. The thing is, we had tablets. They were learning how to do more and more things that laptops could in a different way, because you had to optimize it for a touch interface. We were getting there, but then Microsoft came in the picture and said, no, in order to get people to use our products, we're going to make our tablets actually laptops, but we're going to call them tablets. We're going to put the old ports on there. You basically, for the software to work, you need a keyboard and mouse, but you still sell it and tell them it's a tablet, even though everyone who has one is going to use the keyboard and mouse. There's very little you can do with the Surface tablet just with the touchscreen. It's because they didn't design it that way. It was an afterthought. But those obviously sell really well, and then software designers don't have to redesign their apps because they know it works on Windows 10. You can use a keyboard and mouse on a Surface. So there, it's tablet ready, just because Windows 10 built a way for you to fairly easily navigate through an operating system with a touch interface that was actually intended for a keyboard and mouse. So what you did was sell a bunch of laptops and told people they were tablets. And that's why we're seeing this decline in the tablet industry, is because all the demand for the iPads and other tablets out there went down, which made software designers hesitant to optimize touch interface apps for other tablets, because they realized, no, we can just, on the Surface it works fine. We don't have to re-optimize everything because this is a hybrid product. That's why I think we're seeing such a decline in tablets. If someone would actually take the initiative to make pro editing or professional apps in general for the iPad and other tablets out there that are just tablets, I'm not talking about hybrids like the Chromebook Pro, I think we could see a massive improvement in people switching from laptop to tablet. That's what I wanted this iPad Pro for, is they said you could edit 4K video with it. I knew that was kind of the top of what I needed in my product, so I bought this, waited for the pro editing software, never came. That's why I had to buy my MacBook. If I could edit my videos on this and get the same professional options and professional exporting quality and options, then yeah, I wouldn't need a MacBook. I could do everything from the iPad, which I would love. It's very light. Using the Apple Pencil is very easy. But there's no apps coming out for it that will let me do what I need to, like Adobe Premiere does or Final Cut Pro does. That's the main reason I think we're seeing tablet sales decline is because there's no demand for software engineers to push that agenda. Anyway, make tablets great again. Exactly. What do you think is coming with... I sighed really heavily, by the way, because someone said, do you ever jailbreak any of your devices? No, never have, don't like it. I've seen what they can do. It's too complicated, defeats the purpose of an Apple product. No jailbreaks. Not on me. I was neutral on it, but now you're pushing my buttons and you're making me hate it. I'm not mad, don't worry. Anyway, what do you think is coming with the new Macs? I'm really hoping USB-C. That's about it. Obviously, you're going to get some speed improvements later. I really want them to switch to a USB-C on the accessories for the Mac, the keyboard, the mouse. Touch bar, that'd be great. Touch ID, why not? Yeah, what's my 2017 iMac wish list? I've talked about that before. Anyway. iPad Pro with tablet optimized mouse. No, you don't understand. Dark Nebula. That defeats the purpose of having a tablet. That's when you have a mouse, now it's not a tablet anymore. Now you're talking like Microsoft. As in, this is a tablet that lets you plug in a keyboard and mouse. What's the difference between that and the laptop? Well, it has a touchscreen, but laptops have touchscreens now. So is that a laptop or is that a tablet with a keyboard attached? You're blurring the lines. That's why I think the iPad is still, the iOS platform is designed for a touch interface. A mouse would not work well on iOS. We all know that. But even if you redesigned iOS to be mouse friendly, now you just be making a different version of macOS. That's a different operating system. When you have a mouse and a keyboard, there's not a whole lot of need to get a, what do you call it? Touch the display very much. That's a user, you only have two hands, am I right? You can only do those things with that interface or a trackpad, doesn't have to be a mouse, as long as it shows up as a pointer on the screen. Once you have that pointer, there's very little need for a touch display. If you're going to use the touch, it's going to be very minuscule and not very much. That's why I wouldn't recommend the, don't let a mouse connect to your iOS device. I think that defeats the purpose. Anyway. 65 people watching after all that crap we went through at the beginning. Anyway. Would you rather have the iPad move to an OS that will eventually replace the MacBook line, or wait for developers to create apps for it? I'm obviously, now that I'm running a tech channel, I'm going to buy most Apple products as much as I can. Not everything, of course. I can't afford that. But the products I do need that I can review, I will buy, like the MacBook Pro. But I would really love to see more Pro apps come to the iPad because I think there's so much potential here. There's so much optimization when you're on a touch display that still allows customization. People don't think you can have really intricate or complicated apps on the iPad. I really think you can. They're just not trying hard enough. Again, I've made a video about this, but the app Over, the photo editing app, really customizable. Lets you do tons of things. About 90% of what Photoshop lets you do, you can get done with Over, basic things. But they're adding more things to Over every day, and I wish I've emailed that company before. Like, make a video editing app. Every app on the App Store, both on Android, it's even worse. On the Apple App Store, at least, you get some apps that show you basic video editing, but they basically think video editing is showing video with music underneath. That's editing, right? They don't want to give you export settings. Like, no, your export settings are 480p, 720, 1080, 4K. Those are your options. It's like, I want my bit rate. That's what I get when I export with Premiere, because your iPad right now just compresses it so it can fit in smaller size formats. But I have 256 gigs of available storage. You can take up more space. Just don't look like crap. I would like to see that tablet transition. I'd like to see something replace a laptop. Yes. Does Andrew have an Apple TV 4th Gen? Yes, I do. It's right over there. I use it quite often. I like Microsoft's idea with the Surface. It's not a bad idea. I just don't think it's the best way to go. It was very creative of them to ennoble. Honestly, it's very innovative for Microsoft to come up with a way that a tablet interface and a desktop interface can work together. I don't think it was done to perfection. I think they did it until it was possible and then released it. I just don't think it's a seamless experience. It's not something Apple would do. That's the Apple cheap thing to say. I get that, but Microsoft wanted to see if it was possible to make a interface that could switch between tablet and desktop, which a lot of people enjoy. You know, a lot of people prefer that opposed to having the very separate iOS, macOS. So they're serving their people. There was a demand and they met it. I just personally don't think that's the better way to do something. I think the reason Apple hasn't done it yet is because they haven't found a way to make a seamless transition between a touch interface and a point and click computer. It's just they're working on it. They tried many times. They've claimed, even Steve Jobs said they were working on trying to make touchscreen Macs because, you know, they're the inventors and innovators of multi-touch. You'd think they'd be okay with putting touch displays on a Mac, but they haven't. And I think there's a reason for that. Anyway, you got games on your phone? Not much. I really don't play video games anymore. What? Drew doesn't play. There's no time. I'm working. I'm doing this. I come home. I edit. There's not a lot of time to game. It's a pretty big time consumer. Zach Hall says, just got a Series 2 Apple Watch. Have you found any useful third-party apps for yours? I like your profile picture, by the way. The Office is a great show. No. I haven't. There's not a lot of third-party apps that I really enjoy in the Apple Watch. It's a great product. I use it every day, but I'm really only using the stock apps. I haven't really discovered third-party apps that I just need to have on my Apple Watch. That's why a what's on my Apple Watch video would be really pointless for me. It's like activity, messages, clock face. That's all I got. I can't find a good use for third parties. If you use GoPros a lot, the GoPro app is pretty nice. That you can remotely view and control your GoPro. That's neat. I do like that. But I don't use that a lot because I don't use GoPros a lot. So, what else? Do I have anything? Let me look. Messenger, Facebook Messenger. That's about it. Yeah, no, I really don't use much else. I'm sorry. You're out of luck there. Phil Photographil says, do you always update your iOS or macOS immediately when a new version is available? Have you ever regretted an update? Not particularly ever. There's not a lot of times I've updated something and had it go completely haywire, now it's broken. I hear about that, but it's never happened to me. And no, I didn't always update my products as soon as it was available because I had such crappy Wi-Fi. It wasn't an option. Now that I have this hotspot thing, which is proving to be successful because I'm not seeing... type in the chat just to make sure, but I'm not really seeing much flickering happening. This hotspot is working fairly well. We're doing this entire live stream through Verizon 4G LTE, and it seems to be working. I'm hoping the audio sounds fine and the video looks good. It's obviously not going to be great because it's live, but it's obviously much better than what we had before, which was nothing here. But now that I have that unlimited data, I'll definitely be updating as soon as I can now because it's so fast. And a lot of people were saying in my video, and I see your comments that say that 22 gigabytes is the actual limit. Once you get past 22 gigs, you become unpriority and you don't have that super fast 4G LTE. This morning, we were long past 22 gigs. I used easily 26 gigs just yesterday between live streaming and uploading videos. And has it gotten slower? Maybe, but not to the point where we can't do stuff like this. And this is all I really need to do. I need videos to upload and I need to be able to live stream. And it appears we're able to do that. People are saying audio is great, video is great. And Hannah Jackson says pretty high quality for me. Great. So the whole problem earlier was just I wasn't listening to you and I wasn't switching to the rear cam. I should have. I really should have. But the reason I don't want to do a room tour right now is it's messy. So don't. Maybe when it's clean next time I'll do live stuff. But anyway, thank you for yeah, people were talking about that 22 gig cap. We're long past it. Right before this live stream started, we were at like 40 gigs easily. I haven't checked it. It's so satisfying. You go in the My Verizon app, you look at your data plan, and it just says Stream all you want. You got unlimited data. Little did they know, I meant live stream, not Netflix stream. Anyway, why don't you like the Nintendo Switch? I think it's very innovative. It's because I don't believe in single-purpose devices anymore, and what the Nintendo Switch is really good at is one thing that I don't think a lot of people are going to do a lot of. It's going to have a niche market. There's the Nintendo fans. I'm not saying no one will buy it. Obviously, lots of people are into it. I just don't think it's going to be that new age, new era. I think the idea of having portable gaming consoles or portable gaming devices in itself is dying. The console market is already dying, and you can't even take that with you. It's going to serve the people who like the Nintendo 3DS. You're there. I just don't think you're the mainstream. It's just, if things aren't really accessible on your smartphone or iPad, they're not going to blossom and succeed. They're going to catch the geek's eye. You know, if you're watching this tech channel, you probably have some geekier understanding of the world with, you know, tech stuff. But so it's going to catch your attention because it's new, but just because it's new doesn't mean it's the future. A wooden axe. No one's built a wooden axe before, but that doesn't make it functional or useful. I just don't see the Switch taking off because it's going to serve its purpose, but you're not going to get people who don't buy Nintendo products to get that. That's not going to switch Xbox users or PlayStation users over. I'm sure there's exceptions, but I'm making a prediction. I could be totally wrong. This could change everything. Keep in mind that. Everything I say is a prediction. Nothing I say is absolutely true. Except it totally is true. You have to understand that. God, understand. Sorry. Did I scare you? I'm sorry. Whatever. Whatever happened to your tech podcasts? I really like them. Rowan, I've been seeing your comments for that for a while. I'm glad you like them. I don't think most people would, though. I just found, Wyatt was very quiet. You all know Wyatt. He doesn't have too much to say about most topics. And my friend Max is kind of, he's laid back. He's an interesting guy to talk to. But there was only so many things we could talk about. And it really just became me and Max and Wyatt sitting there. And I didn't really want a podcast of just me and Max. I mean, if there's enough demand for it back, I'll do it. But it's just, I didn't think many people were liking it. Rowan, you're the first to tell me that, like, you were interested in the podcast. So if more people say I'd like, well, geez, and more people are saying they'd like a podcast, maybe we'll have to bring that back. I don't know. I just, I didn't think it was that high in demand. They weren't getting a lot of views. There's only like 3 of them, right? And a lot of the time I would ask them something and they would just say, I don't know. And I was like, come on, I can't do a podcast when, like, the other people there, I just say, I don't know. But, like, I get it. It's cool to have people to bounce off of. That is kind of nice. Subscribe to Tailosive Talks, everyone. They live stream about other stuff. That's true, Hannah. Thank you. So if you want podcasts and us talking, not necessarily about tech, but Tailosive Talks has tons and tons of that kind of content. Stuff you can just play and leave on in the background. So please, check it out there if you do. Why do you have a music channel? I don't. It's gone. Don't worry. We used to. The thing is, we have different people that work on each Tailosive channel. The person who we gave Tailosive music to got engaged, became very busy. He's busy with work, and he just doesn't have a lot of time to do video stuff, and he never started. So that's why we canceled it. It's not a thing until we can find a musician who's interested in making content for Tailosive Music, which he was, but now he's kind of out of the game. Until we can find that, there won't be a music channel. Sorry. Podcast? Really? Okay. I ordered AirPods nearly a month ago, still no progress on the shipping, and the money still hasn't left my account. I'm a little worried. Luca, I'm very sorry. I feel your guys' pain because I felt that too. The AirPods are super high in demand. It's just everyone wants them, and yeah, they're taking a long time to process. I don't think you should be worried, but I would be. I share my condolences to the delaying of your AirPods. They are great, but yeah, I'm very sorry they're taking so long. I wish they could make them faster. I wish. Do you ever use Windows? I used my gaming PC for a whole year. So I am very accustomed to both Windows 7 and Windows 10. I never used Windows 8. But I remember updating to 10. And the biggest difference I remember when using a PC, because the reason I bought it is because I knew I'd get specs and processing power that I could help edit videos with, and I never had a PC before, so I could game finally. Couldn't do that with Macs before. PCs just have this recurring thing of whenever I use them, there's unexpected problems that get in the way of everyday things. So that's really where you get that expression, I want an iMac because it just works. That's, I don't know, because I know Macs have problems too. I've used them all my life, and they're definitely not perfect. They run into issues all the time. But whenever I used a PC, I felt like I was fighting it, and it wasn't working with me. I was like fighting to make it do what I wanted. And I never get that much with a Mac. I feel like it's working with me. And I don't, it's very hard to articulate what I mean by that, but that's just what I've experienced. And some people have experienced the exact opposite. So I can't blame you for not being an Apple sheep. I understand why people aren't. I definitely have used both for a long period of time. Why do you think Apple never made a Photoshop competitor? Well, you can say they did. It's just, it wasn't a very advanced one. I guess they did very basic stuff in the Photos app. In iPhoto, the very basic stuff. I guess that's not really Photoshop, but yeah, I guess they just felt like that was a void they didn't need to fill. I think if you want to know what industry they backed out of, but they're still kind of a part of, was Final Cut. Before Final Cut Pro X, the 10, that's what everyone hated. Final Cut was used by like Hollywood professionals. They actually made TV shows and movies with Final Cut. It was very advanced, and it was made by Apple. But what I think Apple did was they realized that they really like partnering with Adobe with their applications and products, so they wanted to let Adobe take over the advanced end. So when you're making movies and TV shows, you'll use Adobe Premiere, After Effects, or editing, like you said, Photoshop. So Apple scaled down Final Cut Pro X to be more of a mid-grade editor. It's not completely basic, which is iMovie, which is like family vacation videos. They still wanted it to be advanced enough so that everyday people can do very cool, customizable things, as in they're still going to charge you for it. It's $300, but it's not quite fully professional. So they're somewhere in the middle, and I think that's where a lot of YouTubers like it. Is because us YouTubers don't need advanced things like After Effects and Premiere. Those can do amazing things, but it's not necessarily something everyday YouTubers need to do, even though I still use it. But I use Final Cut Pro in the past too, and I'm thinking about switching back. But I think that's an example of something they were into and then moved out of because they said, let the third parties take over. They can do that better. It's just interesting that that's how that works. If your fans let you borrow their stuff, new phones, laptops, etc., to review, would you do it? Alex, yeah, I've done it. I reviewed, there's several things I think I reviewed that I didn't own. What, though? No, I know I guess a long time ago. I don't think I even uploaded it, but my friend of mine bought the Amazon Echo, so he brought it over and we used it together, and we reviewed that, but I don't think I ever finished that video. That was long before this channel even took off. I know I've done it. I just can't think of anything right now. I doubt. What was it? Like the Note. I guess you could say I borrowed it from Amazon, like the 6P, the Vivo 5, the Note 7, all that. But anyway, yeah. Hannah says, I wish you could upvote other people's comments here. Oh, well, I wish you could. It is a shame you can't do that. I do like doing that. Where do you go to get your most reliable Apple News? Apple News is getting weird recently. Like, there's not anyone in particular. I just went to the genres page and just went Apple, electronics, Samsung, Android, just all the basics. But there's a lot of headlines on Apple News that make no sense. I actually go there to get a good laugh sometimes now. I'm curious now if I can just find one for you. They have some weird headlines that don't make any sense. Let's see. It's been a while, but yeah, this is boring. I think the last one I saw was the iPhone 7 could receive 3D touch. And that came out on February 11th, 2017. I was like, where do they get these headlines from? It's very bizarre, but yeah, I don't have anyone particular that I trust. I feel like everyone has their own bias. So you should just take the facts and opinions from everyone and formulate your own. Maybe you formulate yours a lot from mine, and I'm okay with that. Because that means you're right. Can you name your top 5 wish list for iOS 11? Dark mode. Just, things off. Face chat bubbles for messages. An easier way to switch photo resolution and frame rate in the camera app so you don't have to leave the settings. A, what do you call it? Raw, uncompressed storage so that when you're recording videos and exporting them, it doesn't try to make them as small as possible. So that's 4. 5 would be, this is kind of broad, but more customization in Control Center. There's a lot of opportunity in Control Center that they haven't done, and that covers a wide range of things, like the Wi-Fi networks when you 3D touch, turning off and on cellular data from Control Center. I would remove airplane mode. I don't think that's something people use. I think you could just rather have cellular data on, off. But let it be a little bit more customizable. Not all of it customizable, because then it gets confusing for people who... the handoff effect I talked about in iOS is better than Android. When you hand them your phone, they want to be able to check it and know where things in. So like leave the camera where it is, leave the flashlight where it is, keep Bluetooth, auto orientation lock, do not disturb. Those kinds of things you can leave, but in the middle there, let's add some options. Think my phone is getting hot? Yeah, it probably is. Multiple group FaceTime. I know a lot of people were asking for that, but I think you can do that on Skype. Did they ever add that? I heard they were working on it. The thing is, I don't think I would ever use that. I very rarely use FaceTime, and I definitely would never use the multiple people FaceTime. But yeah, someone would, so I guess you could add that. I think it might be a problem of battery, and multiple group FaceTime is a complicated thing when you think about it. You got to be streaming to 2 different people now, which means using more internet, and also downloading to people's connection at the same time. So that's probably hard on the internet. Maybe that's why they haven't done it yet, but I'm sure it's possible. Skype did add it. Yes. Okay. I don't know why FaceTime is better, but I guess it is. What would you think about making the phone customizable, but it's hard to do so, only techies will customize it? Yeah, Samuel, customization is not a bad thing. A lot of people get that vibe from me because I'm the Apple sheep and everything's gotta be the same. But I think the Apple Watch is a great example of you can have tons and tons of options as long as they're optimized for each other. I think what Android did was try to let anyone make apps, for free, which is good in certain aspects, and let any software go on any piece of hardware. What happens is there's very little optimization, and that's what people notice when they switch to an Android, is they're like, these apps just don't flow together as well. Like when an app works on an iPhone, it feels built for it. It feels like it belongs there. In Android, you get less of that because it's built for tinkering, where I think you can have tons of customization as long as it's optimized. And I've told people this in the past, but I have lots of ideas for my own tech company if I ever had the power. I don't know if I ever will. But if I could have my own software tweaks and make their own hardware as well, I would definitely push tons and tons of options, but they're all built in-house. You don't just open the door for anyone, because then lots of people mess it up. So basically, Android can't be considered pure Android. It can't be good unless you have the Google Pixel. That's what I've been hearing from a lot of people, is that's designed for each other, so that works well. So customization is not bad. It's just you gotta think through it. You can't just open the door up to anyone. Anyway, what home apps do you think are going to be featured on the Home of the 11 update? Home apps featured. Random crap? Well, I don't know if they're going to add anything. What could they add? I don't know. That's a complicated question. You stumped me there. I'll answer it with your name, random crap. That's what you call yourself. What is your favorite version of iOS 10? It's very simple. It's just getting better and better to me. It's so seamless now. Everything works. I love it. I love it the way it is. New icons because the ones we have are getting old. Okay, so I won't give you every detail about my idea for my own mobile and desktop operating system. But one idea is having different theme packs, which I know Android does, but it's kind of third party. What I would do is let stock apps and third party developers have around 10 different themes that they design their logo for. So when they make their app logo, they don't just design it once, they design it to fit these set determined theme packs that you can't add more, you can't take them away, they're built in. But like for instance, the transparent theme pack. So you know that iOS 11 screenshot where all the apps are see-through, everything's kind of black and white. It's very minimalistic. I thought that looked cool. So what if you just asked before all your you could even have a computer auto-generate the logo for them. It looks for a similar color. It looks for contrast. It makes part of it see-through and part of it a little gradient, a little grayed out. And then when you turn on that theme pack, all of your apps change automatically. You don't go through each of them individually like you do on Android. You just ask those third parties to fit these standards in terms of theme packs. And if they don't, then you have a computer that auto-generates it for you. And you can pick between like a list of 10 different attempts about which one the computer got the most right. Things like that, I'd love to see. Do you think Apple should allow jailbreaking for advanced users that know how to do it? Well, technically they do, because you know how to do it, right? I mean, I don't know what you mean by allow. I just don't think they like people tinkering with what they designed, because it hurts their handoff effect, because they want their customers to be their own marketers. I can hand my phone off to someone else and they go, wow, I like this. When you jailbreak your phone and hand it off to someone else, they go, what is that? I don't get it. How do I do that on my phone? And you say, oh, well, you gotta, plug it into a computer, download this certain thing and make it work. They want it to be simple. They want their customers to tell other people how great it is, and you change their message when you jailbreak, which is fine. You're still allowed to. No one's gonna come on your door and kill you, but still. You would jailbreak. You still can. You think Apple's going to make a fridge like Samsung? Doubt it. I doubt it. Other than accessories, what Apple products have you disliked, as in not buying it? Accessories I don't like, other than accessories. Oh, okay, so an Apple product I don't understand. Well, I liked all Apple product, basically every Apple product that we know that is out now, I liked at a certain point, but I do want to point out that it's pointless that we are still selling the iPod Shuffle. Doesn't make any sense. It's a headphone jack to charge and connect, and it comes with a headphone jack to USB-A cable. That's so out of date. We're abandoning both of those, and that's how you connect to it. And no one really needs a Shuffle anymore. Like, it's so pointless. And the Nano. There's less and less need for an iPod Nano, but Apple Book, there you go. Didn't buy that. That's stupid. Even if the book was really cheap, even if the Apple Book was $20, it doesn't cover all of the products they made. It doesn't come to modern day, and it doesn't go to their origin. So that's why I don't understand why they made it. I'm on iPhone 6 at the moment. Would you recommend getting the upcoming iPhone 7S or 8 also? What happened? Do you think the 7S... What updated do you think the 7S will have? 7S, if they do call it that, is mostly going to be internal designs. My dad said, thanks for mowing the lawn this morning. Gotta go. Bye, Dad. You're welcome. And 7S is mostly going to be internal designs. They'll make the camera better. They'll make the specs better. They'll probably have a product red version, which would be nice. But I don't think it's too late. Well, you're getting close now, aren't you, to the halfway point. I don't think it's too late to buy the iPhone 7 and still have it be up to date. If you are going to wait, though, determining what you're going to buy, 7S or 8, is all going to be on pricing, because 8 is going to be incredibly expensive, and 7S we're going to be lucky if that's the same price as the 7. That's likely what's going to happen this year. That's my guess. Toby is not my boss. He is my father. He owned this. He raised me. He's my creator. Do you think HDMI 2.1 coming out with features like 10K 120 hertz support hurts USB-C in its future path to becoming one port for everything? I do, kinda. Yeah, I don't like it when other companies start saying, well, now we can tell people to use our port because it's better. It's like, we've got lots and lots of companies that have obviously agreed that this is the way of the future. This is the next wave of tech. Why don't we all just start adopting things to that? That way, you know, I get it's annoying that we have to use adapters and dongles right now, but my point is, if everyone adopted USB-C, no one would need adapters ever. Companies that make adapters are going to go out of business. There would be no need to, because every device you had would just be ports. The same port that does everything. Just all ports work. You don't have to worry about, is this the right cable? It's just, they fixed that. So yeah, it's a little annoying when they do that. But I guess for really specific advanced users that need 10K at 120 hertz, yeah, probably you can't fit that through USB-C yet. So they make their own cable, and only advanced professional users are going to use that. So it's not that bad. It is the future. Do you think the next iPhone will have true wireless charging? Asks Noah. I don't. I really don't. I think that's something we're getting really hyped about, and then the iPhone 8 is going to come out. It'll be a big disappointment, and then we'll start talking about how great the 9 is going to be. Anyway, we've been live for quite a while now, and it's getting close to dinner time. I'm hungry. I've got videos to make. If you want more content, obviously you can't get enough of it because you're watching a crappy live stream. Subscribe to Tailosive Talks. We're uploading there pretty often. A vlog just went up today with me and my girlfriend at the Kennedy Space Center. There's podcasts on there. You can leave them on in the background. And Couch Time, which is just like a sit-down, real basic show with me and my friend. And people say we're fun to watch. So I appreciate everyone joining me and experiencing the laggy live stream at first. Thank you for telling me to switch to the rear camera. That obviously fixed everything, so I really appreciate that. This has been fun, and I think it's going to work. I think this audio and video thing has finally been resolved, and I appreciate your help. So, it's going to be really awkward because when I hit stop, it's going to take a second. But this is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you guys in the next one.